Thank you, Nathan. We now move further north of the border. A man who I'm sure will introduce himself if I didn't. Our very own Mr. David Coburn, MEP, Leader of Scotland.
Well, that was nice. Hello, conference. They're all looking very good. I'd just like to announce that we have an office have just opened in Inverness as well as our Edinburgh office. And I'd like to thank Les Durance, who has opened that and has staffed it with the 4 and 20, what was it? Young activists, I think he said. Okay, so that's good news for us. Also today in the Press and Journal, 69% of Scots say they do not want another referendum. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had a wholly different speech in mind for today. Until that is, I heard Ruth Davidson, the leader of the Scottish Tories in Brussels, making a speech. She announced something extraordinary. She announced that she would accept anything Cameron brought back from Europe. Anything. Cameron, like Chamberlain before him, returning from Munich, waving a worthless piece of paper. Where have we seen that before? Well, apparently the Scottish Tories will sign anything, no matter what's on it. Scottish Labour leader Kezia Dugdale, the new one, revealed her contempt for the Union with a revelation that she is happy for our MSPs to campaign for independence. The Lib Dems, similarly, have surrendered the Union. I won't bother with the Green Party, whose Scottish leader, Patrick Harvie, is to green issues what Roundup is to dandelions. I think his vote will be decimated by Corbyn's new model army, so I don't think we have to worry about them. UKIP is the only truly unionist party in Scotland. The Tories have given everything Sturgeon and Salmon wanted, and more. Whereas UKIP want a strong, sensible Scottish Parliament working for the Union and not against it. Like the Greeks, the Scots voted to end austerity. But you're not allowed to do that in the EU, as you've recently seen with Mr. Tsipras's problems. If you're a small European country and you do that, a technocratic, unelected government will be imposed on you by the authoritarian EU. You cannot choose to end austerity, no matter what the SNP tell you. The EU will not allow you. But then again, the SNP are not Scottish nationalists. They want Scotland ruled by Brussels and Frankfurt, and not by Holyrood and Westminster. What sort of a nationalist is that who wants to give away his country to a foreign power? They are international socialists who want to use Scotland as a battering ram to destroy the United Kingdom because it does not fit their historical socialist paradigm. They would rather throw away a sound currency like the pound for the disastrous euro, which has bankrupted most of southern Europe and France. UKIP will also repeal the authoritarian, Kafkaesque SNP Named Person Act, which appoints a civil servant guardian for every child in Scotland. A commissar in every Scottish home. What could be worse than that? What sort of freedom is that? It's the Scottish National Party's version of freedom. The people best suited for bringing up children are their parents. Except in the obviously few cases where social services have to intervene. Very sad cases like that. UKIP are opposed to the routine arming of Police Scotland. The police do not need Glock 17s in the Highlands, unless they're expecting a second Jacobite or third Jacobite rebellion, or the grouse to shoot back. Or maybe it's something more sinister. Maybe it's just to suppress ordinary citizens rapidly having their freedoms removed by the Scottish state. We are also in favour of retaining the ancient Scottish legal tradition of corroboration, where two witnesses are required for seeking a conviction. The SNP want to bang up every politically incorrect person while freeing serious criminals. That's not on. The SNP seek further powers, but they cannot handle those they already have. Education is fully devolved to Holyrood, and the finest education system in the world is being systematically destroyed. 148,000 college places have been cut, 4,200 teachers sacked since the SNP came to power. And as I said before, this is fully devolved to Holyrood and is the fault of the SNP. UKIP will bring back grammar schools and good technical schools. UKIP will also oppose the SNP's Zimbabwean-style land grabs. Today it's the laird's lands, but I wasn't a laird. Then it was the middle classes, gazebos and azalea gardens, well, but I wasn't bourgeois. Then they came after my wee button Ben. But who was left to defend little me? It's the thin end of the wedge, I say, thin end of the wedge, and Scotland will resist it. The enjoyment of your property is a fundamental human right, and arbitrary land grabs are responsible for the third world's instability, economic uncertainty, and lack of investment. Laws and constitutions written in pencil equals accounts written in pencil. Is the SNP turning Scotland into a third world banana republic? Well, that's what it looks like to international investors. They keep on threatening more referendums, more problems in Scotland. It's got to stop. It's damaging the Scottish economy. UKIP are opposed to the construction of wind turbines. Ugly German propellers polluting the Scottish landscape. Who would like one outside their home, in between them and a large mountain they wanted to look at when they bought the house? Well, certainly not me. It destroys our tourist industry and is costing the public a fortune in extremely expensive energy costs. UKIP oppose it. UKIP believe in clean coal technology, reopening Scottish coal mines, which will create much-needed employment in Scotland, and cheap, modern, reliable energy. We are sitting on tons of this stuff. Let's use it to fuel a new industrial revolution in Scotland. Let's create employment and stop the unemployment that has been created by the SNP and the Greens and all their nonsense. UKIP are the real patriotic Scottish party. We want to bring power back from the undemocratic European Union to Holyrood and Westminster. We want to get back our 200-mile fishing grounds given away by Ripon and Heath. They are currently controlled by Brussels, but we want to bring them back to Holyrood. And I say Holyrood, not Westminster, Holyrood. We should bring Scottish fishing to Holyrood and also agriculture. Those are those things that can be decided closer to home and wouldn't do any harm at all. There's good things to be had with devolution, and that's one thing that is definitely good for the Scottish Parliament to decide. UKIP are not against the Scottish Parliament. We're for it. We just want to put a UKIP government in Scotland. Shouting too much for Nigel yesterday. I think I've lost my voice. Let's have another one of these. We believe in a strong Scottish Parliament, in a firm United Kingdom, with appropriate and logical control given to Holyrood, while retaining the full force multiplier of foreign and economic affairs at UK level in Westminster. That's where that should be decided. But as much as possible should be sent to Scotland, that which is logical. Together we are stronger and can better take the hit the faltering oil industry is having in Scotland at the moment if we are part of a United Kingdom. We must play fair with our UK colleagues, though. We can't just decide what we want. Scottish MPs in Westminster should not vote on English-only matters. That would be wrong. By all means, speak. That means any Scot in the Cabinet can be in the Cabinet as long as he or she speaks to their brief but does not vote on it if it's an English-only matter. Scotland must play fair with our largest trading partner and oldest friend, a friendship forged in world wars and the Napoleonic Wars. If Scotland wishes to raise extra money for things she wants, she should do so. Responsibility for the money will make legislators more responsible in how they spend it if they've got to raise the money themselves. We want the entrepreneurial Scotland of Adam Smith, David Hume, Andrew Carnegie, not the Scotland of Keir Hardie or Jimmy Reid. UKIP and Scotland have to persuade the Scottish people that the Scots are the Syriza of Scotland and that the SNP are not revolutionaries. They are the EU's glove puppets. They are a Eurocentric party. UKIP are the revolutionaries, not the statist, authoritarian SNP Euro glove puppets. Corbyn's Labour Party is not the Labour Party of the modern, aspirational Scottish man and woman. Corbyn is a dogma-driven North London bourgeois intellectual who wants to abolish Scotland's most important employers, the Army, Faslane, naval dockyards. Corbyn and the Nationalists want to turn Scotland into a strip-playing Scandinavian sauna republic, which it never was. Many working-class Scottish people served their country in the armed forces and will not take well to someone in authority who will not sing the national anthem at a Battle of Britain service. Disgraceful, I say. And to make matters worse, he's even reneged on that, so he's a hypocrite to boot. The Scottish Nationalists want unlimited immigration with unlimited spending on social security. Tell that to the unemployed in Scotland. Tell that to those waiting for houses. Tell that to those who need social security. Those on hospital waiting lists. Those whose rents have gone up. Gretna Green will soon resemble Calais, and the Scots don't want that any more than people in England. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, at least 35% of Scots want to leave the EU, whatever anybody else says. Ruth Davidson and her Conservatives have broken their sabres, cast away their spears, spiked their own artillery and deserted the battlefield, and they've left it to UKIP. So it's left to UKIP as the only truly unionist, the truly anti-EU party in Scotland, and we expect and hope that people will either give us, vote for us, or lend us their vote to put us, a team, into the Scottish Parliament where we can create problems for Mr. Salmond and his own backyard. This is UKIP's opportunity to represent at least 35% of Scotland and park our kilts on the beige benches of the Holyrood Parliament. Thank you very much.